And we have said movement, growth, excretion. We have said also respiration. So we have also talked about maintaining external environment, homeostasis. We've talked about adaptation. Next here is nutrition. So living organisms, they require nutrients to provide energy and materials for growth and repair. So they need nutrients. Everything that is living requires nutrients so that they can obtain energy to be able to perform functions. So that is that. Quickly, let's look at cell structure and functions. And so after that, we go to our question and answer series. We'll try to look at some questions that, possible questions that you may likely see in your exam and JAMB 2025, and we'll see how we can solve them together. So here, the cell structure and functions. So the cell structure and functions, number one here, we have the cell membrane. So the cell membrane, like we know, is semi-permeable. Semi-permeable means that it can allow substances to go in and out of the cell. So it serves as a filter or a gate that allows certain substances in and also prevents certain substances from going into the cell and out of the cell. So the cell membrane is like the envelope, the gate that envelopes the cell. Okay, we'll have better structures in our subsequent series. We'll look at some diagrams and we'll use diagrams to explain what it means. Today, we just want to establish the basics. So we have the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is the portion of the cell, like that liquid portion of the cell that contains the organelles. The organelles are found in the cytoplasm. Okay, so we have the nucleus. Of course, the nucleus controls the activities of the cells because it houses the DNA, which is the genetic material that has the information that tells our body to perform all of the functions. Everything the body needs for its functions are stored in the DNA. So we have mitochondria. Many consider them to be as the powerhouse of the cell, where energy is released for cellular activities. Then we have the ribosomes, where proteins are made. Proteins are made in the ribosomes. It's just like the kitchen of the cell, where proteins are being prepared, cooked, made. Okay, so when we use stuff like that, it helps us to understand better. Okay, so we have the endoplasmic reticulum. So we have the smooth and the soft endoplasmic reticulum. The smooth ER means that it does not have ribosomes surrounding it. We are going to be explaining this better with a diagram in subsequent series. Today we just want to establish the basics. So the difference between the smooth and the rough ER is that the smooth ER does not have ribosomes scattered all over it. That's why it's called smooth. It does not have ribosomes. And then it is the site for synthesis of lipids. So lipids are synthesized there. So it does not have ribosomes. But the rough ER, as the name, rough, it has ribosomes scattered all over it. And these ribosomes make proteins. So that's it. And then we have the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus, like the name, is an apparatus that folds proteins, packages proteins, and transports them out of the cell. So that's what it does. After the proteins are made, they move down to the Golgi apparatus where they are folded, packaged, and then transported out of the cell to the sites where they are needed. Is that not interesting? We are going to be looking at this more specifically in detail in subsequent series. We'll see diagrams, we'll explain them better, and then we'll see how these processes work. So for the plants, let's also quickly look at the chloroplasts. It's just like the mitochondria, but for the plants. So this is where energy also is released. Plants are able to convert the light energy into chemical energy using a pigment called chlorophyll in the chloroplast. So that's one of the difference between plant and animal cells. Very important question in any biology, whether JAMB, WAEC, they will always ask you to compare between plant and animal cells. So plant cells have chloroplasts, plant cells have cell wall, animal cells do not have cell wall. Animal cells do not have chloroplast. Another difference is that plant cells, they have large vacuoles. Vacuoles are like space that contain materials like water and other materials. So plant cells have larger vacuoles. Animal cells have smaller vacuoles. So these are just some of the basic differences between plant and animal cells. So quickly, let's look at this question we have here. Let's quickly look at this question we have here. Having established those definitions, let's quickly look at some of the questions you are likely to see in your exam. So here we have a question. Let me bring it down a little. I hope you can see this very clearly. So, which of the following results from the cross between big B, small b, and big B, small b, heterozygous genotypes? This is one of the areas that bio students often get very, very complicated. Genetics. Even at the basic level, the secondary level, it is very, very complex. Even in the university, when you face genetics in the university, it's going to be complex. But if you understand the concepts, if you understand the basics, it will be like the simplest thing. Yes, it will be like the simplest thing. Now, let's look here. So when you see this kind of question, you already know that the parents are heterozygous. So they are heterozygous, which means that their gene combination are different. So this is having big B and small b. This is having big B and small b. We're not going to explain in detail. We just want to answer the question. Which of the following results from the cross between these two? So when you cross these two, what are you going to get? That is what they're asking. So let's make a cross. So the first one is BB. Okay, let's draw the Punnett square, a monohybrid cross. And then the second one is also BB. Right. So since we've done this, it will be very easy for us to continue. Now we make the cross, we impute the possible gamete combination. So big B here, big B, and then big B, small b, this and this. Right? I hope you're following. And then small b, we have small b. Okay, and then small b. Okay, big B, small b, sorry, we'll have big B, small b, and then small b, we'll have small b. Now we see now, what is the genotypic ratio? The genotypic ratio here, which is what they're asking us to find, So, what this genotypic ratio, what it means is, just look at these crosses. How many different combinations can you find? First of all, you look here, we're having big B, right? Is there any other big B? No, right? So we say 1:2. Okay? Now we look again. The second one is big B, small b. How many big B, small b can we find? We have 1 and then the second. So we have 2. So we have 1:2, then 1:2. We look at it again. Any other one? Yes, small b. How many small b do we have there? Small b, we have just 1. So here we have 1:2:1. That is the ratio. The genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. Let's go back to the question. So they say, which of the following results from this cross? A, they have 2 big B, 1 B, small b. B, they have 1 big B, 1 B, 2 B, big B, and 1 small b, and then 2 big B's. C, they have big B, 2 big B, small b, and 1 and small b. So which one is correct? Here we have ratio 1:2:1. So this is 2:1:1. Wrong. This is 1:2:1. This here could be correct, but the combinations are wrong. So here they are having big B, small b, and big B, which is wrong. and they're having 2 big B, small b. Now, possibly C, let's look at C. Big B, 1. So here we're having 1, ratio of 1 is to 2. 2B, big B, and small b. So we're having 2 big B and small b, and then 1 small b, small b. So C is the correct answer. C is the correct answer here, which is 1 is to 2 is to 1. 1 big B, 2 big B, small b, and 1 small b, small b. So this is just an example of some of the questions that you are likely going to be seeing in your exams, in your JAMB. So this is just one of those questions. And also, let's quickly just look at a few other things. So there is this question they will always ask: if a couple, what is the probability of having a male and a female child? What is the probability of having either a male or a female if a man marries a woman? Okay, what's the probability of having either a male or a female? So let's say, men have the X and Y chromosome, and women have the XX chromosome, right? This is very simple. So this is male and this is female. You should be able to know these two symbols. Very, very important. You see these two symbols, you should be able to know them. This is arrow symbol and this is mirror symbol. Arrow symbol is designated to the male because if you look at it, naturally, men are actually the ones that are associated with archery. Okay, during the early ages, they will hunt to get food for themselves and their families. So arrow, whenever you see this symbol, it shows that this one is the male organism. Now this is mirror. Between men and women, which people likely or often use mirror to look at themselves? Ladies like mirrors a lot. So the mirror symbol is used to denote the female organism. So now if this is XY, XY, so what's the probability of having a boy? Let's say a boy. The probability of having a boy is still the same. Okay, let's use the Punnett square too to check this. Very simple. You have to be very familiar with the Punnett square. Okay, so we can say this is the male XY and this is the female XX. Okay, female. Okay, so if they gave these two gametes here, we'll have XX here, and then this will have XY. This and this will have XX, and this will have XY. Okay, so the ratio here, we are going to have 2 females, 2 males. So the probability of having a male child for each of these gametes is, this is the formula for probability. The probability is equal to the number of times an event occurs divided by the total number of trials. Don't worry about the big grammar. What this here means, the number of times an event occurs divided by the total number of trials. What this big grammar means is that these are 4 boxes. How do you know when they are going to have a boy or a girl? If you're looking for a boy, say you look at the event, what you're looking for is boy. How many times did the boy child appear here? X and Y means it's going to be a boy. X and Y means it's going to be a boy. So we have 2 possibilities here. 2 possibilities. So number of times an event occurs, 2. So it occurred 2 times here, divided by the total number of trials. Now the total number of trials is 4 because we are having 4 boxes, 4 different possible events here. So divided by 4, which is the total number of trials. So the probability of having a boy, which is XY, will be equal to 2 over 4, which is still the same thing as 1 over 2. Which is still the same thing as 1 over 2. 2 over 4 is the same thing as 1 over 2, which is still the same thing as 50%. 1 over 2 is half, which is 50%. Now if you look here, 50% here is going to be boy, 50% here is going to be girl. So 50% is the probability, which is half. So for every time a married couple is going to give birth to a child, they have half chance of that child being a boy or a girl. Or you can say they have a 50% chance of having either a boy or a girl. So it's either a boy or a girl. So it's half boy, half girl. So you get. So that is just what they want you to do here. So don't get confused. Whenever you see these questions, just try to understand what they're asking you. And then when you know what you are doing, it will be very, very simple. Remember the formula. The probability here, the normal formula for probability is the number of times an event occurs divided by the total number of trials. So that is that. Now, in this case too, you'll be seeing most of these questions a lot. So we can say that we know that we use letters to represent genes. We use letters to represent genes in genetics. So let's say for plants, we want to check whether a plant is tall or short. Okay? So since it's tall and short, let's use letter T to represent the plant. Okay? And everybody, so here, in this case, it's a diploid organism. So diploid organism means they have 2 copies of each of their genes. So if this plant, say we are using T to denote the traits for tall, okay, so that means we are going to have it in 2. And there are 3 possibilities for each of these. There are 3 combinations, possible combinations. Is it that plant is going to be TT, big T, or it's going to be big T, small t, or it's going to be small t, small t. These are the 3 possible combinations. These are the 3 possible genotypes that we can find. Big T, small t, or small t, small t. So these are the 3 possible combinations. So big T is dominant, while small t is recessive. So this is recessive, and then this is dominant. So it means that as long as an organism has just one capital letter, one big letter of that gene, that organism will express the dominant genotype. So if the plant is big T, small t, the plant will still be tall, because we are saying that the big T is dominant and the small t is recessive. So if the plant were to be big T, small t, the plant will be tall. If the plant is big T, the plant will still be tall. But if the plant is small t, the plant will be short. So for you to be short, it means that dominant character for height, tall plants, the tall trait is dominant over the short trait. So for you to be short, for a plant to be short, it has to have the 2 recessive genes, which is these 2 small ones. So that is what it means. Now, let's try a possible question. So, supposing we cross a homozygous plant, across 2 heterozygous plants, what is the probability that their offspring is going to be short? Supposing we are comparing heights for the plants, and we cross 2 heterozygous plants. Okay? What is the probability that their offspring is going to be short? Which means we are looking for TT, small t, right? Don't be confused. This word heterozygous, they just want to use it to confuse you. What it means is that they say the cross between 2 heterozygous plants, which means the 2 plants are heterozygous, they are big T, small t. That's what it means. They are having the 2 copies, big T, small t. So we have the 2 plants here, big T, small t, big T, small t. So let's draw the Punnett square. Okay, I hope you're following up to this point. And we do it again. We have big T, this and this. Okay, this and this, big T, small t, right? So we'll come again, this and this, big T, small t, this and this, small t, small t. You'll be seeing this kind of questions a lot. And if you don't know how to go about it, you might not be able to answer it correctly. So now we're having it. I say, what is the probability of having this one? So are we seeing it? So now we look again here. We said that the big T is dominant over the small t, and as long as that organism, the plant, has just one letter of the big T, it's going to be tall. So it means that this plant is going to be tall. This one will be tall because it's having big T, two big T, tall. This one is going to be tall or short? Anyone? Yeah, so it's going to be tall because it's having one big T. So it's going to be tall. This one is big T, small t, going to be tall too because it's having one big T. But this one is small t. This one is going to be short. This one was not lucky enough, so it's going to be short. Now, we have the genotypic ratio. Don't be confused. When they say genotypic ratio, they want to know the possible genotype combination. That's the type of genes. So, how many type of genes are different here? That's what they want to know. First, we have big T. Is there any other big T? No. So, we have 1. 1:2. Then we look again. We're having big T, small t, and they appeared twice. So 1:2:2. Then small t appeared once. So 1:2:1. That is the genotypic ratio. 1:2:1. Now, what about the phenotypic ratio? Phenotype. We are supposed to start this class by defining all these things. Phenotype is the physical observed character, what we can see. For example, the plant is tall or the plant is short. That is phenotype. The flower color is green, the flower color is yellow, that is phenotype. I am dark-skinned, that is my phenotype. I have brown hair, that's my phenotype. Now, but there is a gene responsible for this dark skin that I'm having. There is a gene responsible for the plants being tall or short. So when they are looking at the gene that's responsible for that trait, we say genotype. What is the gene? From the word gene, genotype. The gene type, the type of gene responsible for that trait. Now the phenotype, you can use the word physical to relate to it. Phenotype, physical, what we can see. We understand that. So now, the genotype is 1:2:1, 1 big T, 2 big T small t, and 1 small t. That is the ratio. Now, the phenotype is, what can we see then? We can see that in this cross, we can see that 3 of these offspring are going to be tall. They are going to be tall, which is 3:2. Only this one is going to be short. Only this one is going to be short. So we have 3:1. So we can see that the genotypic ratio is different from the phenotypic ratio. They are not the same. We can see that. The genotypic ratio is different from the phenotypic ratio. They are not the same. So here, 3:1 means these 3 are going to be tall. Why? Big T, tall. Big T, small t, tall. As long as it's having one big T to be tall. Big T, small t, tall. Small t, short. So ratio here is 3:1. So that's how to calculate for genotypic ratio. We'll use this question to answer 2 things, genotypic and phenotypic ratio. Now, but the question, they say, what is the probability that their offspring is going to be short, that is having small t? Now, let's solve for the probability. Remember when we say probability again, probability is the number of times an event happened divided by the total number of outcomes or trials. So here, small t here happened just once, only once. It appeared only once. So the probability now of having this is going to be 1. Okay, P of small t, probability of having small t is going to be 1 over, then how many possible outcomes? 4. There are 4 in total, so 1/4. That is the probability, but it does not end there. 1/4 is equal to now, if this is 4 boxes, which means this is 100%, the probability here is 100. But it just happens 1. So what you're going to do now is, if you divide this box, these 4 boxes, each of these boxes will be 25%. So 25 plus 25 is 50, plus 25, 75, plus 25, 100. So, and this thing just happened here once. So the percentage here is just 25%, which is 25%. It's just this one. So this 75% of the children or the offspring are going to be tall. They are going to be tall, 75%. Only 25% is going to be short, which is this one. So that is just what I want you to do. It's very simple. I know we've done enough today, we've done a lot, so we will be continuing this class in subsequent series. Please do put down your questions in the comments. Put down your questions. If there are areas you want us to focus on, put it in the comment section. I will get your questions. I will do videos responding to your questions. We'll be doing some question and answer series. We'll see how much we can do for the short time you have before you write your exams. So good luck once again, and keep following our series. We'll be doing more of this from now. We'll be doing more of questions and answers. So anyone you have, any question you have, put it in the comment section and I will check them, and we'll be doing these videos according to your questions. So thank you so much. Let's continue to take a selfie together. Don't forget to follow our channel if you want more videos like this that will aid you through your academic journey. So bye for now. Thank you so much.